Hello, hello, hello. This is Brittany Geneva. Another episode of Geneva Says. Hey, y'all. It's been a minute, huh? Anyways, I am here, audio only. It was that or no podcast. So I figured, well, let me do something. But I have so many thoughts that I just have to get right into it on the slap heard round the world. Slapgate 2022. I just like this has taken over my life for the last 48 hours in a crazy way that I can't believe is real. Like, I legitimately logged into Slack yesterday for work and already had two messages from two different client teams about, so should our client talk about this on social media? Like, legitimate, like, it wasn't, like bullshit people asking. Like, one, the answer was maybe, and the other one, the answer was no. But it really was like a legitimate consideration for both. So that just goes to show you, like, the area that I work in, like, everything melds together, work, life, all of it, because I really got on my work, messaging system yesterday and was had like multiple conversations about this that were not just like the water cooler. So it really is like everywhere. And I just, okay, first, we're going to get the bad takes out of the way. Shut the fuck up about what if he had killed him. What if Will Smith had killed Chris Rock? Like, what the hell? He slapped the nigga. Like, people get slapped every day, B. That's basically what Lakeith said. He didn't say it just like that, but that's what he meant. People get slapped every day, B. Chris Rock is a healthy man. You know what? What if Chris Rock had been another human being and the situation was a completely different situation and the hypothetical had nothing to do with the actual thing that happened? Okay, just get off Twitter, please. Just okay. So those takes are just absolutely ridiculous. We know. Some others, though, that I've been hearing a little bit more from less ridiculous people. Oh, why did they have to do this in front of white people? Oh, why do they have to do this when the white people were looking? Nigga, fuck the white people. What? Oh my God. I can't think of something I care about less. Let me think about things that I could care about less than white people watching us do things that may not be the most flattering things. There was nothing else. That was actually the lowest on my care list. So hell no. Like, who cares? Seriously, like, what is it? Somebody tweeted, and I feel bad that I don't have the name up right now, but just know this is not my original thought. But somebody tweeted, what is it like to live in constant awareness of the white gaze? Like, what does that feel like to always be worried about how white people think about what you're doing? Like, it sounds like hell. I really, wow. You know what I mean? Like, I feel so bad for any black people or people of color who constantly think about, what if the white people see us? I want you to be free. I want you to be free from that because it sounds awful. Oof. Whew. So, anyways, fuck that. Or a version of that that's a little bit, different, but to me in the same wheelhouse. Oh, it's just such a bad look for black people. Oh, such a bad look for black men. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. There's no implications for the black community in this. There's no implications for black men. We are talking about Will freaking Smith, who is like the biggest star in the world and won the Oscar, by the way. So like that shows you where his career is. Like, Will Smith is on another level. Will Smith is on his own level. He's not black, he's Will Smith. I'm just kidding. But no, he's not just like a black man out here looking ghetto. Like, that's not, Will Smith is just not on the level to even be able to, like, have, to me, like, a negative impact from this. Like, I don't even think anything is going to happen to him. Like, I don't think his career is going to suffer. I don't, like, I think that Will Smith can kind of do what Will Smith wants, which was very much evidenced by the fact that he did that shit and went and sat back down. Now, that part's a little wild to me. That part is very wild. This man fully walked up to the stage, slapped the hell out of another man, out of a host, turned around, sat back down, cussed him out some more, and the show just went on. I don't even know how I would have felt if I was in there. I would be looking around like, yo, y'all ain't got no security that's gonna come out. Like, y'all ain't gonna take a pause. Like, literally, the show just went on, and 25 minutes later, that man just won the Oscar. Like, that's a little wild. That's wild. But to me, that's Will Smith. Like, that's Will Smith privilege. I feel like that's a privilege specific to Will Smith. I don't know how many even other actors would be able to get away with that. But I don't think there's any implications for the black community or for black men or for any of that stuff. Like, it just happened. It's just two niggas that have been beefing. Like, okay. So now to talk about the actual moment itself, I want to make one thing very clear. I did not watch the show. I still very much am in my place of I do not watch non-black award shows. So I only watch like Soul Train Awards, NAACP, BET Awards. Like, those are the only award shows I watch. I do not watch the white award shows because I still feel as a community that we let those shows mean too much to us and don't give enough meaning to the black shows and then complain when the Oscars and Emmys and Grammys and Golden Globes of the world are not nominating, Michaela Cole, and are nominating Emily in Paris instead. All like every year we get mad about something, and I'm just really excited for the point where we say, wait a second, why do we have to even care about this shit? Why do we even have to let ourselves have toil? Let's just move on and either support and uplift the existing black shows, or if you still don't think that they are giving what they're supposed to have gave, then make a new one. Like, let's just come up with a new show then that reaches whatever level you think it should reach, and let it be a show that centers black people, So that is my rant. I don't watch the award shows, but I do watch Twitter, as you all know. So I was watching at that time either Candy and the Gang or um, Power. I can't remember which one, but I was watching one of them. And I'm on Twitter, and then all of a sudden, my whole timeline was like, wait, what? What just happened? Huh? Was that real? What? That, like, my whole entire timeline. And I was just like, okay, so something just happened at the Oscars and people don't know if it's real. So I just was like continuing to look at the timeline. I started just searching the Oscars hashtag. And then I see the original clip from American TV where it's muted at the second half. But so I saw what happened, but I didn't hear what happened. And that actually, like, I could understand why people think it was fake at first because Chris Rock, say whatever you want to say about him. We can talk about Chris Rock separately in terms of what type of man he is, what type of comedian he is. But say what you want about him. In that moment, the amount of restraint that man showed, oh my God. I kind of, I could see why you would think it's fake at first because Chris Rock is so chill. I'm like, he just fucking absorbed that slap into his body. He, if you look at like, I think the LA Times posted a picture of a particular freeze frame where you can clearly see that he was like like his natural reaction was like about to square up, but he stopped himself so quickly. It's like a millisecond where he was like, whoop, and then he just went right back to normal. And so he doesn't even really appear to try to hit Will back at all. He sort of, like he was still smiling through the things that were being said. And so when you definitely without the audio, it seemed he's so calm that's why you could think it was fake because he was so calm. I mean, I was like, oh my God. Chris Rock act like nothing just happened. But then, but then, when people started posting from the international broadcasts where they don't have all these delays and mutes, I was like, oh no, no way. This was fake. Oh, that energy was 100% fucking real. Like, even the sound of the slap, it was like a sound effect slap. It sounded like a slap that they created in a lab. And then the way that Will Smith walked back to his seat and was cussing Chris out with the most beautiful articulation. Like every single word was crispy. You know, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. Like it was like acting class, like how he was articulating himself so well. And Chris Rock was the fact that Chris Rock was like, okay, I will. I'm like, ooh, he might have been a little shook. But right away, even without seeing what people had eventually started posting on Twitter, I literally was like, there's absolutely no way that this one joke at this one moment caused that reaction. Like, this has to be a buildup. There has to be some beef. Like, I'm waiting for somebody to drop the article, the years long beef between Chris Rock and Will Smith. Like, there's just no way that that one joke, tacky as it may have been, ugly as it may have been, by itself, I just don't think that it was strong enough to elicit that reaction. But then people start posting, oh, from 2016 Oscars when Chris Rock did this. And like, there might be other sets that we don't even know about where he's like poking fun at Will and Jada because it seems like maybe, Jada particularly was a fun target for him. And then obviously layer in like, Jada's own insecurities about the alopecia and blah, blah, blah. And now like we have sort of like more of a tinderbox situation. But I'm just like, whoa. I mean, I just am like, it was a lot. Like I said, I don't care that the white people were watching. I don't think there's any implications for the black community. I don't think Will Smith genuinely put Chris Rock's life in danger. And I actually appreciate the energy very much around protecting a black woman. Like, that is your wife. That is a strong black woman. You feel that she was disrespected and you did what you had to do. I don't even mind that at all. I really don't. The only thing, the only thing that I just keep coming back to is like, fuck, Will, you ruined your own night. Your own night. You ruined, Will. 20 minutes later, you freaking win Best Actor. Like, you've never done that before. Black people have barely ever done that before. So this is historic. This is beautiful. This is well deserved. Everybody kind of knew King Richard, he's probably going to win. And now, instead of being able to go up there and thank your mom and thank the Academy and thank Jada for her support, now you got to go up there and apologize. Now you got to go up there and be crying and talking about, Denzel told me that the devil comes when you're at the top, and now you got to be doing all that instead of just saying, I'm so proud. I'm so happy to have been able to represent this man and honor the Williams family. And you ruined your own moment, Will. And that's the part that's so disappointing. And a whole bunch of other people's moments. Well, I won't say he ruined it, but he certainly overshadowed it. I mean, right after the slap, Questlove wins. Oh gosh, her name is escaping me, but the first openly queer woman of color won for either Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress. And there was just like a lot of things. Will Packer, you know, um, producing this, and a whole black production team actually. And like there was a lot of like moments that are overshadowed now. And that makes me really sad. That part sucks. I really hate that. And I would have been more than happy for Will to slap the shit out of Chris in the green room, backstage, at the after party, in the parking lot. I mean, whatever. I don't care about Chris Rock's face, but I do care about the fact that, like, now this moment is like so overshadowed. Like, Oscars 2022 is the slap Oscars, you know, not the Oscars that Will won Best Actor. And even yesterday, yesterday the Oscars had to release another statement after mad people were like, Oscars, you just gonna act like nothing happened? I mean, they really were, though. They really were just like trying to close their ears and close their eyes to this shit, but they had to come back out and be like, okay, we're gonna start an investigation. Like, you can tell they're just going through the motions, but even then, now, there's like talk. I mean, I think it's highly unlikely, but like talk that they could revoke the Oscar. And now Will Smith has to come out and make another statement. And it's just like, now this is what it is now. Instead of being about like actually some like pretty good Black excellence on display and like a show that had a lot of like firsts and all this stuff. So that part I think sucks. And one thing I will say now, like I said, a lot of people have had a lot of terrible takes. Steve Harvey had a take that I actually think is spot on, or at least it's not crazy. That, he said that he thinks Will Smith reasoned that if I do this to Chris Rock here and now, Chris Rock won't respond. And he sort of knew that if he were to run up on Chris Rock in that way, in that moment, that Chris Rock would not be able to react the way that maybe he would have had it been behind the scenes. And to be honest, that's not a crazy take. I think Will Smith is smart enough to have quickly done that calculus in his head and been like, let me do this now and not wait till later. So that's possible. That's really possible. And I just think, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It just, it was such a bad decision, Will. Oh my God, what a bad decision, overshadowing your own night, truly. But yeah, those were my thoughts on that. I had to get it off my chest. I'm like, oh, and it's just crazy because the there's really no, this is my last thought. There's really no sort of predictability about who is going to say what. One thing I didn't even get into was like, was this Will protecting his wife or was this assault? You know? And to be honest, you might think, oh, it's like white people or conservative people who are like, this is assault. And Black people who would be like, this is Will standing up for a Black woman. But that is absolutely not the breakdown. I can't find consistency by race, by age, by political affiliation. I have heard plenty of young Black Democratic, people saying that was assault and Will could have been arrested. Or, you know, that was violence, that was toxic masculinity that can't be excused. And again, I sort of disagree in the sense that I don't necessarily think this was toxic masculinity because it was between two men. Um I think this was just niggas beefing. I really don't think that there's like a lot of depth to the reasons here. Um, but I do just find it interesting that there really is like no consistency. Like there are plenty of people that I would not have expected who have said that was assault, that was violence, that was ugly, that was toxic masculinity, and who said like, I can't believe he did that in front of the white people. That makes us look bad as a community. Who I wouldn't have. I'm like, really? You? I didn't think you were a respectability politics motherfucker. Like, I didn't think that was you. I really like. I'm like surprised by the people who are doing that, and then like the people who really believe like that was violence point blank and he has to be like arrested and like punished. I'm like, this was niggas beefing, and he didn't punch Chris Rock. He slapped him, which actually is a distinction that makes a difference. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just don't think that there's that much depth to this thing. I think, he was mad And I think it was building up. I think there was beef over time, and I think he saw that moment as the moment to be able to get that slap off without having a whole fight ensue, because that would have been some world star shit. What if Chris Rock had hit him back? Y'all, you in the hood now, baby, for real. Oh my god, that would have been world star. Oh my god, that would have been crazy. So I think Will Smith did was smart enough to make that sort of rational decision. And I do appreciate the energy behind like standing up for this black woman. I do. That trumps everything for me. I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, that's what you got to do. And Chris Rock is going to learn that he needs to like throw away those old 1993 ass jokes about G.I. Jane and bald women and fucking come up with some new shit, because that's played out anyway. Ugh. Anyways, there's so many. I mean, like, what did I say? Somebody said this was a cultural reset. I don't know what a cultural reset is. Hold on. I'm going to Google it. What is a cultural, I don't know if y'all can hear me typing. What is a cultural reset? Maybe it is that. Maybe it is. Hold on. A cultural reset is when something big in well known pop culture changes or causes people to change the way they look at things. So something really sort of shifted the way that we view a certain thing in pop culture. Um, I don't know. I still don't know if I would call it that. I mean, do I look at anything differently? Do I look at Will Smith differently? Do I look at Chris Rock differently? Do I look at the Oscars differently? No, no. I don't know if this is a cultural reset either. Again, to my earlier point, I don't really see any implications for society. This was just two men who had a problem, you know? Um, so, anyways, I would definitely be curious for y'all's thoughts. I'm sure that as much as it might get on people's nerves, this conversation is going to keep going for a little while. So, anyways, let's talk about it. I'm online at Brittany underscore Geneva on all the things. Let's talk, let's chat, and I will be back soon with another podcast. This is Geneva Says. Thank you so much for listening.